And we are now visiting with our first guest, Nikki Bilderback. First of all, welcome, Nikki.
Hi there. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Super awesome to have you here. We'll kind of go around the circle here and talk a little bit about the costumes for the Halloween show. I'm Sean from Shaun of the Dead. Nikki?
I am an Dallas Cowboys cheerleader because
Kelly's
that way,
favorite kind of cheerleader.
that's exactly. Well, I knew that was definitely Kelly's favorite kind of cheerleader, and that's exactly why I decided to do so that way he can't come within 50 feet of me. So, according to the restraining order, which we can't discuss. Yeah.
Allegedly. But anyway. So, Mike.
Yes, sir.
What's up with you?
Well, I decided to be the scariest thing I can think of. The man who stalks those cheerleaders himself, Kelly Toole.
This is going swimmingly, I'm sure. I'm not even sure I can edit any of this out, which is a problem.
Kelly definitely approved me doing this.
Yeah. So I can get...
We did it so you couldn't edit anything out. So this can just all be about, your record.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we will go ahead and get started right away. And we're going to start off with some questions for you, Nikki, about Halloween. So what is your favorite Halloween costume that you wore ever?
It's a tie between two. One I'm wearing. Only the difference is I would be of legal age, Dallas Cowboy Cheerleader, and not
so you lost Kelly there.
Yeah, so Kelly, that was the whole point. And then my other one that I love, and I'll have to send you guys a picture, is Miss Texas in the 80s. So 1985, 84-ish, around that time, where I do huge hair, big tiara, sparkly dress, the whole glitter sequence dress, and a sash that says Miss Texas.
And was there a lot of cocaine involved in that? You did mention 1985.
Well, there was Coca-Cola, which essentially is
originally,
cocaine. Originally. Did Kelly want to know that? Is that why you asked?
That's definitely a Kelly question.
Yeah. Thought so. Yeah.
Question number 2. You just finished off describing your second. So it's a tie between the cheerleader and Miss Texas?
It's a tie between Dallas Cowboys cheerleader of legal age and Miss Texas in the 80s.
Okay, we've covered the first point. We're good. We can move on to other things.
In case the audience, whoever's watching,
had happened to forget for 5 seconds. Okay. What's your favorite candy, Nikki?
Oh, yummy. Okay, so are you talking candy bars or candy?
Candy.
Or both?
Your choice. Dealer's choice. Candy.
Okay, I'll give you both. How about candy bars? Kit Kat and Twix. Candy. I really love pink Starburst, soft, not stale red vines, and Skittles.
Cool. Those are good.
I, Kelly Toole, prefer the leftover edible body glitter in the champagne room at closing time.
Okay.
I'm not shocked.
Yeah. Just pipe down there, fake Kelly. All right. This seemed like a good idea when I set this up. It's totally not. Jason versus Freddy versus Pinhead versus Leatherface. And that's not Mike. It's Leatherface from the movie. Who would win and why in a battle?
Okay, so I actually took a few notes because I really needed to think about this, right? I think Jason. Here's why. Jason would win. He's the only one who can't really be killed. You know what I mean? He's sort of like he's sort of like an undead zombie. Because didn't he make his mom made a deal with the devil or something? And so he's basically he's Jason and he's the evil dead. So that's why. So in comparison to the other ones, so Freddy isn't real. He only comes up in your dreams and he feeds off of one's fears, right? Don't have to worry about him. Just heal your fears. Leatherface is human, although very highly mentally disturbed. But he's human, so therefore he can be killed. Now, Pinhead is debatable. Here's why: because he's technically not a villain. He is more of like a, I mean, he's perceived that way, but he's more of like this, what is it? Like what do you want to call him? He's kind of like a god in a way. And so, unless he turns into back into human, which I think he does, right? If I remember correctly.
In a later iteration, yes.
Yes, he turns back into human. So therefore, when he's human, he can be killed. So, Jason.
Okay. We'll go with that.
And that is the correct answer, Kelly. Real Kelly.
Yes.
Right, Dr. Mike?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, so this seemed like a good question when I wrote it up, and it no longer seems like a good question. But Nikki, if you were to design your own Halloween costume, when they have for Halloween, they come out with sexy doctor, sexy nurse, sexy nun, got all different kinds of, to kind of put a little skew on something. If you were to design your own sexy something, what would be the costume you would come up with?
So at first I thought you were asking, out of the 3 that you sent in the email, which one would I choose?
And this was, I'd like to point out, this was a note for this show. This wasn't just correspondence between Nikki and I. I just want to clarify, it's totally different.
But honestly, I think here's the thing. Okay, so sexy nurse, that's so obvious, right? I think it's too obvious. There's the sexy nuns, although sexy nun would be funny. Although I would be a pregnant sexy nun with a cigarette in my mouth and like a bottle of Jack Daniels or something. I think that'd be really funny. But I'm going with sexy teacher because teachers are obviously our real heroes. They're the ones who are, educating the youth, and why not? Why can't teachers be sexy? So I would say I would do a really hot, sexy teacher, sort of like the sexy librarian, because they're the most deceiving.
Okay, good choice.
And you would be educated at the same time.
Good and good for you. There you go.
Exactly.
I, Kelly Toole, do approve this because I know that my lovely co-host, Dr. Mike, has his teaching certification.
Yeah, that
and you're a doctor.
See?
There's nothing you can't do.
You're not helping Nikki. Just because he bought a doctor's office does not make him a doctor.
He is a doctor.
I've looked into it.
Yeah, I bet you have.
He's done research. That counts.
Okay. Deep Wikipedia research on that, did you? So, okay. Last question before the big quiz. Favorite Halloween memory?
Okay, so I wish I could remember because I was young and too drunk. However, I remember it was a huge party for a very well-known screenwriter. And it was at his house, and everyone who was anyone was there. And it was just super fun. I just remember it being ridiculously fun and just drinking and having a good time. But I just remember, I mean, I was like in my early 20s. And I just, when you're in your early 20s and you're drinking, having fun, and you're just seeing everybody, and it's just so cool. And you're just enjoying yourself with not a care in the world because you don't really have like real problems in your early 20s and don't have to think about any consequences. Yeah,
I mean, because no restraining orders, all that stuff. There's nothing like that happening in your early 20s.
I didn't have to worry about restraining orders until obviously ever since I met Kelly.
Yeah.
The real Kelly. What was that now? What? 2 years ago? A year ago? When was that?
2, I think it's.
I've tried to block it out.
Yeah, it's Anyway, moving along. Now there's going to be a quiz, and fake Kelly, Dr. Mike, whatever you are. it's become
Totally
very clear.
real and definitely able to read this quiz.
You are? Okay. Nikki appears to be very focused in winning this.
I'm gonna win this.
So-
All right, I'm gonna have to break the illusion for a second.
Only questions that I can answer that I know the answers to.
Only questions you know the answers to? All right.
Please, I
that's
gotta
fair.
win this.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had to demask. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm not really Kelly.
Great. Now all the little children are crying.
That's right.
There you go. Way to spoil it for the kids.
That mask is awful.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty horrible.
Wow. That was terrible. Terrible to wear. All right. So here's the quiz. Counting the most recent release, Halloween Kills, how many movies are in the Halloween franchise?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is horrible. Why didn't you give me a heads up on this?
Don't worry,
I
we're just
know-
going to overdub my voice over yours. Nobody will know the difference.
Well, are you going to tell me the correct answer after I guess?
So we had worked that out, but I think
okay.
I think we
I know there's at least like 8, but I think there's more than that. Is it yes or no?
that's not how this works.
We can't give any hints.
I don't know why I want to say 13, but I think it's wrong. But I know there's at least 8. Oh, 10?
Okay, we're gonna go with 10, which isn't right. but-
11.
All right. Way to go, Nikki.
12.
Nikki got it right. First guess.
12. I knew it. So you can edit that. 12.
Okay, I think some of our other guests may be a little upset when they see the
No, they
results.
won't. They don't. What they don't know won't hurt them. Whatever.
Yeah, this is totally legitimate.
Okay.
We had our
Okay.
fact checkers.
Yeah.
Go
With,
back, go through the video.
with possibly a little less help, Mike, could you ask Nikki the next question?
Did I offer help on that one?
No.
I didn't think so. See, Nikki and I are on
Not
the
at
same
all.
page here.
No.
Yeah.
What was the most popular Halloween costume in 2020 for adults?
In 2020,
Yes.
was there even a Halloween in 2020? Like,
This would be based on sales and what Google knows in terms of searches and that kind of stuff.
it would have to be something easy that would be like a stay-at-home something, like an overtired, stressed out, exhausted parent.
Boy, you have to have a big package to have that written across the top of it. But
Well,
actually,
Was there a Halloween? Was there a Halloween? last year?
well, Google reported on what the #1 costume was,
What was it?
and it was a witch.
Are you kidding? That's a lie. That's a blatant lie.
All right,
Ellie
Well-
did the research on that one, so
we'll see.
Blatant lie. Somebody's lying to you
Okay, that's right. It was definitely overtired parent. It was.
because that was
Anyway.
pretty much everyone
Yeah,
in
that was true.
in America. Yeah.
all right. So this is an easier one. Name 3 movie witches.
Okay. Glinda, Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz. That's 2. Then the witch. The Snow White witch.
That's close enough. I'm
But-
taking it.
Yep, that's good enough.
Because who really knows her name?
The Evil Queen, but yes,
Evil Queen. Of course, Kelly knows.
yes.
Because only stalkers would know that.
And what is a golem?
A what?
Gollum, Golem.
Is that in the movie? Is that in the Lord of the Ring movies?
That's Gollum.
I'll take it. Nikki wins.
No.
Oh no, wait. There is one
No.
more. There's one more. What is considered the first feature-length horror movie?
The very first?
Yes, feature-length.
Very first feature. Oh hell. Oh God, would that be like an original Frankenstein? Something like that? I don't know.
That's not the title, but I'm sure Mike's going to give it to you anyway. So go ahead.
Is it?
Well, I actually did say to Kelly, Edison's Frankenstein. So I'm giving it to you. Nikki wins. We didn't even do the other quizzes yet.
No,
but
really, did I get it right?
Sure.
No.
Okay, Frankenstein.
What was written down on the sheet there, Mike?
Kelly erroneously put House of the Devil, but we're going to say it's Frankenstein because that's what Nikki said.
Because no, it's true, and that is the correct answer. So this house of the devil, whatever, that's not real.
1896 isn't old enough for you there?
But was that really like how'd they make it, Kelly?
Movie magic. I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
All right.
it's Frankenstein.
These are not how quizzes are supposed to work. So
Frankenstein. Nikki wins. That's
I won.
yeah.
Yay!
all right. Well, I'd like to say it's been a pleasure. We do really appreciate you coming on. Super fun. Always great to catch up. We hope down the road, Nikki, you're open to coming on again, costume optional. Next time you can just come on and visit with us and catch up on stuff. It'd be great to do that again. It's been not too long, but really thank you for coming along.
It's never long enough, Kelly. Dr. Mike, so good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Thank you, guys.
And now we're back with Christina Bach. We got to know Christina, and she came on after the awesomeness of Two-Headed Shark Attack. But in addition, recently, you may have seen her in The Passage, eaten by a vampire, correct?
Yes, it was fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Tomorrow World?
Tomorrow War, yeah.
Tomorrow War, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
A couple of things recently for Christina, but most importantly, she's on Squat Cobbler's Halloween special, which is the only thing happening.
The
So
best thing ever.
So we have to kind of do this. We kind of covered the costumes a little bit for folks. Christina, today you are coming to us as
Evil fairy.
well played. Very
And I
well
couldn't
played.
find my fangs. I add fangs to everything. So
Good thing. So I'm Sean from Shaun of the Dead with all my friends from there.
love it.
And Mike, who are you?
Oh, Kelly, I'm you.
Yeah. Yeah. So thanks.
Oh, okay.
It's an LED mask that Mike spared no expense to grab a picture without my permission from the internet to create that.
That's
It's
hysterical.
tough too because I'm trying to go method and
It's a
just
tough
really
one.
enter Kelly and get a good feel for him. But that's a dark place to be.
I feel you.
Oh man, really you turn so quickly. It's just cool. All right. Well, let's get to these questions because of all of our guests, I am highly, highly confident the biggest Halloween fan, and they're big ones in our list. They're big Halloween fans. I don't think there's anybody who's a bigger Halloween fan than Christina. She
Yes.
is all in and just does a fantastic job. So
Oh, awesome. Thanks. It is my favorite.
looking forward to hearing some stuff here. So
Okay.
your most favorite costume for Halloween ever?
Okay, that's an easy one. It's my vampire costume. Now, full disclosure, I have a million vampire costumes, but I think my favorite that I wore multiple times is this big, it's like a Renaissance goth vampire costume, like with like a corseted dress and like burgundy satin and like big skirt to the floor and then like fangs and horrible makeup and stuff like that. And so I wore it a bunch of times and I love it.
What are kind of the other riffs on vampires you do?
Oh, I did like the all black, where it's like more pale and like, you know, really dark shadows on your face. You know, like super duper evil. This one was more like kind of Renaissance interview. Well, not that Interview with the Vampire took place then, but you know, same kind of vein, more beautiful costume and stuff like that. So that's it. It's either evil and dark and black or, you know, something gorgeous, but you know, gorgeous costume, like nice hair, you know, like vampire going out on the town. I don't know. To eat someone. There you
Vampire on the go. Cool. All right. Your favorite candy?
Oh, Kit Kat. M&M's. No, wait. I knew this.
We're having this problem. Is it
I'm such a pig.
people to hone
I'm
in
such a
on
pig.
one?
I can't. It's so hard. It's kind of like I have to think about it. Like ones that I steal from my niece and nephew. They give it to me. But I'm trying to think. I would have to say I'm gonna stick with Kit Kat.
It's a solid choice.
I'm gonna stick with Kit Kat. There we go. What's yours?
So actually, Kit Kat. So
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go. All right, good.
He's just saying that he has a different answer for every guest.
yeah, quit lying, fake Kelly. What's yours?
Probably candy corn.
Yeah.
Although I've wrestled a box of nerds out of the hand of a child once. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh, full disclosure, one year when my niece and nephew were really little, there was a costume where you're a box of nerds, and I was a box of nerds.
Nice.
A non-scary costume. Nerds are good too, but I like chocolate. So.
Vampire nerd. Now that could be a new angle.
See, now I'm sad that I didn't do that. That's okay. I still have the nerd costume. I'll do it.
There you go. Okay, and so we do have our Halloween expert here, so I'm gonna really listen closely to the answer here. So we've got a battle royale going on here. We've got Jason versus Freddy versus Pinhead versus Leatherface.
Okay.
Who comes out on top?
Oh, okay. So I would say that the tough final battle would be between Pinhead and Freddy, but all my money's on Freddy.
What gives him the edge over that crew?
Because I feel, okay, so Pinhead, I mean, he can go from hell, he can go from the real world, but there's something about Freddy who can go from like this other plane, like in your dreams. And so I feel like he's got the most power because he can attack people when they're most vulnerable, and he can shapeshift, he can do all kinds of stuff. And plus, like I was just so terrified when I was little of him the most. I watched all these movies as a kid, and I think he was the one that disturbed me the most, and I'm gonna stick with it, Freddy. Freddy would win.
Solid reasoning. Can't argue with that.
All right.
Okay, so over the years, certain costume manufacturers have come up with these variants of nurse, sexy nun, sexy doctor. So if you were running your own Halloween costume company and you were going to say, I'm going to come up with my sexy something, what do you think you would release onto the public?
So it'd have to be something new.
So you can't say sexy Kelly because I'm already dressed as that.
And you're killing it. All right, a new sexy costume. So normally I go like, I think that the sexy costumes are best when it's like either offending someone. So, but at the same time, I think they make a sexy version of everything. I can't think of something that they don't make a sexy version of. So then of course my mind goes back to what can we pervert to, offend others, because why not? Oh God, I gotta be careful what I say on the internet. I came up with a good one. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it on the internet, not on the recording.
Kelly can pre-edit these. So
never. There will be no evidence. One day, I'll tell you. I'll whisper to you.
Okay, we'll keep that off tape. So.
Oh God, this is a tough one. Sexy. Damn, you guys are killing me.
Just wait.
So so I would have to say something that's totally not sexy, maybe like a sexy version of a monster, which would be gross. So I would say like something unexpected, like, oh, you could do like a sexy zombie who's like half naked because he or she escaped from some kind of weird bondage situation. So maybe they're missing an arm because their arm ripped off because they were chained up and they're half naked.
Oh, sexy zombie bondage escapee. This is the costume.
I know.
Pretty solid.
Kelly had chained up and half naked.
I feel like I'm proud of that because I came up with that on the fly. It's kind of wrong.
Good. Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the point. I think that's good. I like it. Okay, so now your top Hollywood, maybe stealing Kit Kats from your nieces and nephews, but your top Halloween memory ever.
Top Halloween memory. I can I have two?
Sure.
Okay. The first was
Mike. First of all, Mike would not have let you have two, but I will. So go right ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so I think the two come to mind right away. The first is going to Halloween Horror Nights for the first time. That was amazing. Have you ever been to Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando?
No.
It's the most amazing thing ever. And I remember I went years ago and the first time, and I remember like, I forget what the theme was because they have a theme every year, but I remember the characters were always scaring me. I'm a big screamer. For some reason they knew, and they would pop out of everywhere and scream. At one point, like some characters were going through the park and there was a woman stuck in a glass coffin with live rats running through it, and she was trying to get her way out. And as it walked by, everyone was like so disturbed. The haunted houses were amazing. It was just an amazing experience. So that was one. The other one was I did Halloween in the French Quarter in New Orleans, which was amazing. Amazing.
That would be all right.
Amazing. So and it was cold and I was wearing the vampire costume. Yeah, so those are two. I think they're tied.
Excellent. Very, very cool.
They were fun.
Thanks for sharing those. Still like the sexy zombie bondage escapee. It's the goodie. It's the keeper. And so now we're going to move to the second part, and this is where Mike's going to ugly up a bit. He's going to take the mask off because poor little baby's uncomfortable wearing the mask. So we'll give him a break.
It's really terrible wearing that mask.
No
I can't
sympathy
stress
here.
that enough. It is awful. Putting
Kelly, I
Kelly's
just want
face
to give
on.
you A+. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Kelly, I want to give you A+. The whole Shaun of the Dead thing is awesome.
Cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, appreciate it. And it's not mocking a fellow member on the show too, which is, an extra plus. It's a costume that I wish more people would think about in the future. But now we have Mike
Kelly
with
gives
us.
me full permission for anything I ever do on this show. He's A-okayed it well in advance.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the whole, hey, do you want to test things out, Mike? No. We're fine. We're fine. Just wait. It's not a good sign. It's not a good sign.
Oh my god.
All right. Now we're going to move into the quiz portion. We're going to work through some things because there's going to be prizes at some point, but because someone in this show may have fed answers to one of our contestants.
I don't think that didn't happen.
I don't know. People should
I
anyway.
think you're mistaken.
We're gonna work. We're gonna make sure we're true and fair to everybody who participates in this. But we have found that this is actually, we didn't intend to make it really hard, but apparently it's not very easy. So.
Oh no! I feel like I'll be so disappointed if I bomb, but sometimes you just brain fart. So we'll see. We'll go.
I don't know. I think there's a couple places you might outperform the others. We'll see. So
all right,
hand it over to Mike for the quiz portion.
All right, so here we go. And just, to make everyone else at ease, I did take Kelly's face off of mine. So.
Thanks.
Okay.
All right. Counting the most recent release, which is Halloween Kills, how many films are there in the Halloween movie franchise?
Oh, you're killing me. And I've seen them all, and I can't. 9.
Actually, but you're close.
Not even close. I know I wasn't gonna get that.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Okay, I blame Mike for that unfair question. Go ahead. Next one, Mike.
That's a good one.
Kelly chose all of these questions, by the way. That's important to note because there's one answer I disagree with. So
Okay.
We'll get there.
We'll
get there. I'll complain when we get there.
All right.
According to Google, what was the most popular costume in 2020 for adults?
This would be Google searches. People either are going to want to make it at home or go buy one. The most searched costume.
The COVID era most searched Halloween costume. That's a tough one. Oh, I have no clue. Did people dress up as COVID?
Don't be afraid to go old school.
Oh, I'm trying to think what was coming out of the movie theater. This is a tough one. I'm just gonna throw out a random guess. One of the Marvel characters. That's not even really a guess.
And it's correct. The Scarlet Witch. Because
yes! Okay. You can only give me half credit for that.
It's Witch.
The Scarlet Witch is good.
Witch is the most popular because people are not as imaginative as our guests think. Think, they're being very Tommy. No, it's like witch, vampire. These
so it wasn't a Marvel character. It was.
No, it was witch. Just witches.
Okay, it was just witch. Oh God, come on, people.
Kelly's giving you partial credit though because he kind of cheats a little bit, but it's okay.
Closer answer.
I just hope he looks the other way for me if I ever help someone out.
Yeah. I don't know. She said the word witch. Well, she
It's close
inferred the
enough.
word witch with Avengers. Maybe it's a bit of a stretch.
Ew, I'm failing. That's okay.
Okay.
It's a
Right.
fun quiz. Okay, keep going.
Okay. So,
All right.
go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't know. I was going to start reading the questions.
See,
tonight.
now he's trying to take the quiz away from me. It's
Sorry.
terrible.
Sorry.
And how long have we been together, Kelly?
8 years, 6 months, and 27 days.
Oh my God, you guys are funny.
Name 3 movie witches.
Oh, 3 movie witches. Okay. Oh my God, now I'm blanking. Why am I blanking on names? Hocus Pocus. This is so embarrassing. This is what happens when I do on okay, let me think of movies. Okay, let me go back. Go ahead.
Well, just so you know, just so you can kind of relax a little bit and let this come to you. We're going to give it to you because there are 3 witches in there, but you come up a
No,
little more.
but that's not good because there's Hocus Pocus, there's Practical Magic, there's the movie Witch, there's like a million movies, and I can't remember any of them.
Like Wizard of Oz, maybe.
Oh my God, I know. This is what happens on quizzes. I completely blank. And then, of course, the Grand High Witch from The Witches, Angelica Houston, one of my all-time favorites.
Okay.
All right, there you go. Failure, terrible.
I don't know. I'm giving it to you.
Thank you, Kelly.
We would have also accepted just saying Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, that's
Good.
true. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy Najimy.
Yeah, there you go. Nailing it.
What is a golem?
And that's GOLEM, not GOLLUM. Not Lord of the Rings
Gollum. I know this, but to put together a description, it's like a person that's brought to life, made that's inanimate, that's made into something like out of mud or clay or something, and it's used supernaturally to come and be a person, like your little minion.
That's absolutely right. Yeah.
The best answer so far on that.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
that's 100% correct. Now, this is where the problem starts. So this is the final question on the quiz.
Okay.
So I'm going to word it in the way that I think is most accurate. According to Kelly, what is the first feature-length horror movie?
Nosferatu?
Good guess, but actually, Curse of the Devil in 1896 is what Kelly and Wikipedia say is the oldest.
I would have never guessed that. So then, what's the controversy here with the question?
Because go ahead, Mike. Tell your flawed logic, anti-Wikipedia rant.
I disagree that that's the first horror movie.
Because you go with
Frankenstein, Edison's Frankenstein.
Okay.
Well, we would have accepted either the right answer, the one I provided, or the wrong answer, the one that Mike insisted on.
I wasn't even close. I just pulled from really old movies.
Yeah.
Now
Nosferatu
you're
is a
gonna
good
make
one.
me Google this and look at these.
Yeah. Do a little research, come back, and you tell us if you're Team Mike or Team Kelly on the oldest movie. It's
All right,
been a
I'm looking it
thing.
up.
All right. So that conducts. So Halloween plans? Anything you want to share? You got anything going on?
Oh my God, I have a lot of Halloween plans. I'm gonna go out, with my friends, probably over the weekend. So I'm gonna do some kind of dark vampire costume because, I love to be a vampire. And then with my family, for my niece and nephew, we're all doing Disney villains, which is tough. Last year we all did Harry Potter. I was Bellatrix Lestrange, which was fun. And we were everyone from Harry Potter. And then this year, it's hard for the women. There's not a lot of female victims. Villains. So, of course, my sister and my mom took really good ones. They got Cruella and I'm blanking. What's her face? Maleficent. Thank you. And so I'm like,
you,
should I be,
yeah.
yeah.
You'd have nailed Maleficent. That would have
Oh, thank you. It would be a fun costume. So I'm thinking either like I have an old Queen of Hearts costume that I might do because it's a fun one. It's crazy makeup and it's a big costume. Or I could do like Ursula. I saw this costume online that has real tentacles and I'm so tempted, but I'm like, where am I going to put the damn costume for like the rest of the year?
See, I would throw out though too, Disney owns Fox now.
It's true, but you know, it's hard because when you think Disney villain, like what I grew up with, you know, there's so much more in the past few years, and now it encompasses all different stuff. To me, Disney villain are the old movies because I'm old school. So
Yeah, and you got they own Star Wars now too. So,
I know, but to me, when I think Disney, I don't think Star Wars.
yeah, yep.
You know, I'm just a traditionalist.
Yeah.
It's valid, but what can you do?
I can't remember. You might be able to repurpose some of your kind of gothic vampire one for the. Can't remember her name, but the mother in or in Tangled.
Yes, the Mother in Tangled. That's a good one. I could
That's
do
a good one.
that, but I feel like I'm kind of attached to either the crazy ones like Ursula or the
Yeah.
Queen of Hearts because they're just crazy makeup. So
Yep.
we'll see.
Queen Hearts would be fun.
I'll let you know. I'll post a photo.
Cool. Please do. Awesome. Well, it's been too long. We need to get you back on a regular show when there's only one Kelly present. The real Kelly.
No, it's
Two
been
Kellys
forever.
is just too much.
You guys are the best.
Awesome. So, thanks again very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Thank you.
We are now joined by Dave LaGreca of the Busted Open Show on Sirius Radio. Welcome, Dave. Nice to have you back.
Yeah, how did you know it was me?
I know.
Oh, it's the name. It's the name on the Zoom. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone spared no expense with me.
I put a lot of thought into my costume today.
It is good. It is good.
Mike is creeping me out. It's creeping.
Yeah.
It's creep. This is gonna give me nightmares tonight.
Kelly's face has that effect on people.
Yeah. If I had a nickel for every time I heard Mike was creeping me out, it was. It's like, yes. So Mike decided to go as the handsome member of the show, and so he is me in his LED mask, and then we've improved our your video shot there. That actually works a lot better. So well done, Mike. You have nothing else to say? Okay.
No, I guess there's not too much to say. I'm trying to keep it clean. I don't want the editing to be too difficult for Kelly, so I promise not to make any jokes about not.
Cool. That would be awesome. All right. So moving right along. Glad to have you here, Dave. This has been fun. We've been kind of asking these questions to a group of folks, and we're going to kind of go through kind of your Hollywood Halloween memories here a little bit. So first of all,
Kelly can't even remember what holiday we're celebrating.
Halloween, holidays, Christmas. Anyway, and I know it's probably the one you're wearing, but could you tell us what your favorite Halloween costume ever was?
Well, it's certainly not this costume because this costume my wife picked up on the way home from work tonight. So I had a costume to wear for this recording. My car's in the shop, so I wasn't able to get it myself. So my wife obviously spared no expense on my Racoon costume to have here for this show. So pretty sad. It's actually pretty sad.
I don't know. I think it's all right. The tail, we don't get the full enjoyment with the tail. So that is, you just kind of wave that around on occasion. Perfect. So is that your favorite one, or did you have one?
You know what? I'm going to go with this is my favorite one because it's also the most humiliating and embarrassing. So I think this is one for the record books, especially since it's now on video. So
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah. And on the
Kelly,
internet.
what was your most embarrassing Halloween costume of your whole life?
Most embarrassing?
Yeah.
So I did okay. I mean, I wasn't old enough to understand that I should be embarrassed, but if I am of a certain age, and you go back the really horrific half-face plastic costumes that were just very unrealistic looking, that you would get at the Kmart for $1 kind of thing. So there was a Batman one that I had that I would say was upon further review, one I wasn't proud of, but overall I've done pretty well on Halloween. I've been pretty proud of my Halloween stuff. So do Darth Vader a lot, so I gotta like that. How about you, Mike?
So I don't remember it, only in sort of vague terms, but I remember my first Halloween in school. I guess I was probably like first or second grade, maybe kindergarten. There's pictures of it, which now I think are hilarious, but at the time I remember being very upset about it. My parents insisted that I couldn't go as anything cool. I had to be dressed as a Care Bear because it was school, and you had to, no monsters or anything scary or anything like that. So we got to school and every other kid had a cool costume on.
So which Care Bear were you?
I don't know. I don't know the Care Bears. That was the other part of it too. Like, I've never been familiar with the Care Bears as an IP. So that made it even worse. I don't even know who I was supposed to be. Now I have a photo of it where I look like mortified in it, and it's hilarious. I'll share it with the show here.
Yep. I think we need that.
I love it now, but as a kid, I just remember like hating that Halloween.
That's pretty bad. Yeah, looking forward to that photo. That'll be included to the video. That'll be excellent. Okay, Dave, favorite candy.
Favorite candy. You know what? It's not made anymore, but this is by far my favorite. It was big in the late 70s and early 80s. The Reggie bar. Reggie Jackson had his own candy bar called the Reggie bar, which was absolutely phenomenal. Chocolate, peanuts, caramel, and it was just a big blob. And it was perfect, and I loved it, and it's not available anymore. But that's my favorite candy by far.
Yeah, that was like kind of almost like, you got typically a candy bar is like a long rectangle. This was much more, it's almost a square kind of thing.
Yeah, it was like a square. It came in an orange wrapper with Reggie Jackson on the cover. It was great.
Yeah, Mike's a little sports illiterate, so he's not gonna. He was a baseball player, Mike. So just so you know.
No, but you know what? Mike might know he was in the Naked Gun movie.
That's right.
Well, there you go. I know the Naked Gun.
There you go. So a hypnotized, murdering. He was going to kill the Queen of England, I think.
That's right. I must kill the Queen.
Yep. All right, this is good. And we do have, of all of our guests, I think this is the judgment we need to take. This is the person that's going to have the best insight on it. We've got a cage match here. We've got Jason versus Freddy versus Leatherface versus Pinhead. Who's coming out of that cage winning?
It's gotta be Freddy, right? I mean, it has to be. I mean, I know most people are probably going to say Pinhead. You can't go with Jason because Jason was just dumb as dirt. So Jason is out of the equation. Leatherface too, not the brightest bulb in the bunch. If he didn't have his brother with him, he didn't know what to do. So he's out. So it's really against Pinhead and Freddy, and I'm going to have to go with Freddy because he survived Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, and that was a horrific sequel, one of the worst sequels of all time. So the fact that there was able to be a third movie after that terrible movie, I'm going to go with Freddy Krueger.
That's sound reasoning. Very sound reasoning. Excellent. All right, this question is a little tricky. There are a lot of times costumes that they'll put out for sale each year, like sexy nurse, sexy doctor, sexy nun, sexy raccoon. I don't know, all different ones they might come up with. So if
Sexy Kelly.
Yeah. Redundant. Anyway, if you were to come up with your own Dave LaGreca branded sexy something, what would be the costume you'd come up with?
I put a lot of thought into this, guys. So I want you to know that I didn't take these questions lightly. I'm going to have to go with sexy DMV employee. That's because there's no worse place on earth than DMV. So if there was a sexy DMV employee, at least you would have something to look forward to, something to distract you. So I am going to go with sexy DMV employee.
Outstanding. I like that a lot.
I'm sure nobody's ever answered it that way. So it's unique by unto itself. Yep. So there you go.
Yeah, I think that's going to be, I think as we get through this, we're going to want to pick a winner of these, and that's going to be a front runner for me. That's super cool.
Now you have to go and find, and there isn't any. There are no sexy DMV employees. That's why it's a Halloween costume.
There you go.
We just lost the entire DMV audience.
That's all right.
No loss.
I think we're good. Yeah, Mike doesn't drive, so he also doesn't know what a DMV is. So there's several parts during the show we're gonna have to help him along.
Okay.
So
you're
it's
not
like,
missing anything.
Yeah, it's like a post office, Mike. So do that. Finally, your favorite Halloween memory.
You know what? This is another one I gave a lot of thought, but I remember 20 years ago, Halloween night, 2001, I saw our favorite Alice Cooper in concert at the Roseland Ballroom in New York City. So that was the Dragontown tour.
Oh, nice.
So that was 20 years ago. So that's my pick for my favorite Halloween for that reason alone.
Wow, Dragontown was 20 years ago.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy. Seems like that was the new thing not that long ago, but 20 years ago.
That's like kind of like when you think of that album, you think of like the new era of Alice Cooper, and it's 20 years ago. Crazy.
Yeah. When you get back, because that puts things, $1 Million Babies, Love It to Death, and all that is 40 plus. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm old. I'm old.
Yeah. I'm with you. With you entirely. All right. So this ends the just general questions, catching up part of thing. We're going to move to the quiz. And Dave, I've got some bad news to break to you. This plan for the quiz has kind of gone bad because Mike, in an effort to suck up to a guest who obviously likes me a lot better than him, basically was giving her every answer.
Never. No, that was,
and
you can go back and watch the footage. That was a fair quiz.
Yeah. When Dave gets a chance to watch this, you'll see how fair it is. So I'm still working out how we're going to deal with the fact that someone's gone rogue on us here and it's picking up, but we'll get you the quiz. And then we'll do the best we can to make it fair somehow. So I think everybody's going to get a prize. I think that's about our only answer right now. But that all being said, I'm going to hand it over to Mike, who's now put on a super scary costume, and he is going to give you our quiz. So
okay,
yeah, I had to get Kelly off of my face in order to do this. There are eye holes in that mask. There are eye holes in that mask. That is the least comfortable thing in the entire world, though. We bought that for a music video shoot, and the person who wore it, who was a kid, didn't complain at all. He thought it was great. It's terrible wearing as an adult. It is the worst thing ever. So the quicker I can get that off, the better. All right. So the Halloween quiz, which we are going to judge completely fairly, no matter what Kelly says.
Okay.
So we replaced the question here, although I do think for Dave, that would have been a valid question, the one that you took off.
Which one do we take off?
You don't even remember. Your war isn't that sincere then, sir.
I blocked it
Who
out.
do you have a blood vendetta against?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we took that one out.
I have a couple of ex-wives, so I probably shouldn't answer that question.
Okay. All right.
All right. So counting the most recent release, which is Halloween Kills, how many Halloween movies are there in that franchise?
Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna take a guess, which is probably wrong. Are you counting the zombie films, the Rob Zombie films?
Yes.
9.
No, there are 12. Counting the
Wow.
list.
I got some catching up to do.
We're in double digits, sir.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Just like Kelly's felonies.
No.
Now.
A great band name though.
That would be a good band name. I'm going to start a band called Kelly's Felonies. What was the most popular costume in 2020 for adults?
Yeah, and let me clarify this a little bit. When we say most popular costume, this was shared by Google. So this is going to be Google running the data when people are searching to either buy or whatever, Care Bear costume or these types of things. So it's based off of Google searches. What was the most popular costume in 2020 for adults?
Wow, most popular costume in 2020 for adults. And this is during the pandemic too. So I'm going to say Donald Trump.
That's a good guess. No, according to Kelly's probably inaccurate data. It's a witch.
Yep. Look it up. That's what they said. So it's the standbys. It's vampire, witch, ghost.
All right, I'm not doing good in this quiz at all, so I don't think you have to worry about me being a winner here.
Okay, well,
I'm already 2 down.
that's right. So was the last person that took the quiz, but somebody.
No, I'm pretty sure she got all of them right.
Yeah. Anyway, moving along.
That's how I remember it.
Yep.
Name 3 movie witches.
The 3 movie witches. Wicked Witch of the West. The Witch of Eastwick. Does that work?
There's 3 of them, so you're at 4.
Okay.
Yes, you're up
so
to 4.
one of the witches of Eastwick.
Okay.
How about that?
All right.
All right. And one of the witches from Hocus Pocus. I don't know the names.
Okay.
Does that clarify? All right, good. All right, so I
Good.
got one.
You got it.
I'm
Bring it up.
happy. Okay.
That was incredibly fair of him because he could have just said Witches of Eastwick and gotten 3 out of that, but he didn't. He still went for another one. That's the kind of laser-like focus to fairness that we have here on the show.
Yeah.
He knew that Kelly was going to crack down because Kelly was like,
Yes.
Yeah, I have a disadvantage here, Kelly. I understand that.
Yep.
I've already lost because the last person got them all right. So I've already lost.
Yeah. We're working on
clean
it.
sweep.
We're working on it because it's a little suspect. The East German judge was a little tricky. Anyway.
These are tough questions.
All right. What is a golem?
That's GOLEM, not GOLLUM, Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
All right. Yeah, I know it's a Lord of the Rings reference. If you listen to my show, you know that I have a major issue and problem with the Lord of the Rings franchise. I'm not a fan. So this is like an ongoing joke. So I got to be honest with you. I'm going to guess. It's a creature that lives like in a cave.
I'm going to give it to Dave. I'm going to give it to Dave.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that one. See? Fair and balanced like Fox News in here.
Yes.
Okay.
Super. Yeah. And now this last one, I think we need to come up with a bit. You can maybe help us, Dave. You come up with the question we need to ask here, and we'll do it. We'll ask the one we've got, and this is on me. This isn't Mike. This is on me. I came up with.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna word this as according to Kelly.
Okay.
All right.
According to Kelly, what is considered the first feature-length horror movie?
According to Kelly, which is the first feature-length horror movie? Nosferatu?
That's a super good guess.
Which is wrong.
It's a very good guess. According to Kelly, it's a movie called House of the Devil from 1896.
That's
According
based
to
on
Kelly.
some deep Wikipedia research. So it
All
could be
right.
wrong. I think Nosferatu's pretty
nobody's
solid.
getting that one.
No,
Nobody's
so-
going to get House of the Devil.
No, I think you're right. So what do we need to do? Help us make us better.
Kelly originally had a question on this quiz though that I do think we should have kept. And Kelly, do you want to pose the question?
Okay. So originally, we had the first one. How many Halloween movies have there been, counting the most recent release? And then I was going to be followed up with the next question. How many Hanson albums have there been, including live albums, holiday albums, and regular releases, but not compilations? So the band Hanson.
So straight Hanson studio albums?
Studio albums, live albums, or holiday albums from the gentlemen who make up Hanson.
All right, I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to think that they've had 4 like regular studio albums since the big hit album Bop Bop Bop, right?
Mhm.
So you have, and I don't even know if I got that title right. I'm going to say 4 regular studios. Then they probably had 1 holiday album. No, 2 holiday albums. So that brings it up to 6. And then I'm going to guess 1 live. So 7 albums.
Close. It was 11. There were 11.
That's not close at all.
It's not 40. It's not 1. But yeah. So
I do think
yeah,
we should have kept that. So Kelly has a battle, a completely one-sided battle going with Hansen,
That's
the
right.
war on Hansen.
I've declared war on Hansen. I don't have a particular reason why. I've just declared war on them.
Are they
They-
still around, Hanson? Are they still?
Yes.
It's unclear, but
Wow.
they're ignorant to my war on them, but that doesn't matter. But we'll see, because we would have also accepted as an answer the number or too many. Would have been another.
I should have went with too many. Sorry, that's my. I did very bad on this quiz. I'm sorry, Kelly.
Well,
I'll
no,
let you
that last question, that's a clunker. We gotta try and improve it for our next guest. I don't know what we'll do, but
Well,
Yeah,
see
but-
here, and here's the thing too. My answer to that last question was the same that our first guest gave.
it was not the same as what our first
Yes, it
guest
was?
gave. No, she just named a franchise.
No, she said Edison's
She
Frankenstein.
did not. Go back to
Yes,
the
she
tape.
did.
She did
No,
not
she
say
definitely did.
Edison's. She
She
did not.
definitely did.
Okay.
Kelly misremembers. He's at that age. He's starting to go a
I
little
get
bit.
it.
All right.
I
You
get
saw
it.
that stone face, emotionless.
All right, fine. Yeah, so but Mike's thinking it's Edison's Frankenstein, but I think because given the conflict on this question, we're going to need to swap it out. But again, given the fact that one of our judges is a little shady, I'm going to work to make sure that everybody who's been nice enough to participate.
Shady.
Yes, shady.
I judged that quiz completely fairly.
We'll let the viewer decide that. Mr. LaGreca, it's always awesome. Would love to have you back on again to catch up on different things on a regular
Thank
show.
you for having me. Have a happy Halloween, you guys.
And now Rebekah Kennedy has joined us. Many of you may have seen Rebekah in either Law and Order, SVU, Station 19, Criminal Minds, or the family classic Bastard. So, Rebekah, welcome. Fun for the whole family. Welcome. Glad to have you.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so happy to be back once again.
So, I mean, I'm sure you've not been like squat cobbler busy, like all the busy stuff that Mike do all the time, but I bet you are doing something to keep yourself out of trouble. So, what's been going on with you lately?
Yeah, so obviously with the pandemic, things were slow, but I did start a movie before the pandemic called Two Witches, and then we finished filming last year, and that is now doing the festival round. So it's going to be in Spain on Wednesday. It just played in the UK on last Friday, and it'll be in Utah at Film Quest on the 31st for their Halloween movie, which is really fun. Yeah, it's about so it's called Two Witches, and it's about two witches. There's two, yeah, go figure, right? There's two chapters. I come into the second chapter as the second witch, but it's basically about a grandmother who's going to die, and when she does, I will gain her powers. So some people might see me as evil, but from my perspective, I play Masha, who is a girl that isn't seen. She feels very isolated and alone, and someone that no one notices. And then people will notice her. It's kind of, got a Carrie vibe-esque in that sense, no pig's blood or anything like that, but it's a super fun film. I'm really excited for people to see it. I don't want to give any spoilers away yet for any, because people haven't seen it yet, but it's got some really good scares and lots of cool effects and just some gross things as well. So,
Well, you may have totally ruined it for people anyway, because you gave away the number of witches in the movie. So I don't know.
that alone, I mean, why would anyone want to see it now?
I already know the answer.
Exactly. Oh, and it's really fun because it has a special scene after the credits. So that's
cool.
always fun. But yeah, I'm excited for people to be able to see that one. Got to play the villain, which is fun. I haven't really gotten to do that in a horror film yet. So yeah.
Mike plays the villain in our show. So
Well, as you can see, since he is the floating head.
Yep, exactly.
And in case anyone wants to know, I'm Creepy Kelly at Disneyland. So
yeah. Criminal Minds, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So
yes.
yeah, so this is the show that I've been waiting for, the Three Kelly show. So we've got Crazy Kelly, we've got mean person pretending to be Kelly using a picture he stole off the internet with his LED mask. That guy. And then we got put upon getting sadder by the day Kelly. Shaun of the Dead. So 3 Kellys, no waiting.
Also be, creepy Kelly from the Lifetime movie I did.
Yeah.
Because she was creepy and her name was Kelly.
Mm-hmm. So anything else you've been doing?
Yeah, so my other project that is coming out November 20th, which I can't say yet where, but hopefully be able to announce that soon, is called Los Angeles. It's the opposite. It's not a horror film, no scares, no thrills, but it's an adventure story about a mute who I play, who goes on an adventure with an escaped convict. So that's the log line. I've seen it. It's a really beautiful film. A lot of I play JoJo, who hasn't experienced much in life yet. She's kind of been isolated. She was abandoned as a baby and was adopted by a nice man, and she chooses not to speak. And so she goes on this adventure, and her life changes as well as everyone else around her. So I'm really excited for people to see it. It's a much different role. I play a really nice, wholesome character. So yeah.
Now, have you yourself ever been arrested?
No. I wish I had a cool story, but no.
Yeah. So if this won't, try not to spoil this one like you did your last one. So where's this story set?
So we filmed it mostly in Merced, California, which is like 3.5 hours north in this really beautiful town. It's kind of set on a cross-country journey to Los Angeles, which is why it's called that. So we end up there at the end. But yeah, so we go through Texas, we go through a lot of different places along the way as well. So yeah, and there's only one convict, so I'm giving it away, but.
Oh, all these movies ruined for people tonight. So
You do like a crossover universe movie, 2 witches, 1 convict.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, no one needs to see them now. I've given you all there is. So.
But you won't give anything away about the crossover movie. It'll be awesome. All right. Okay. Well, awesome. Good stuff. So we will, as these make their way to the theaters, we'll definitely have you back so we can get a lot more in depth on each of them.
Yeah, I would love that. I'm excited for people to see them for sure.
That's excellent. So plan on it. We'll be back to bug you in a little while. All right. So now we'll go through a series of questions. Try to get these in advance so you could prep on them a little bit, but hopefully no surprises in my section. I can't give you any promises. Mike. Oh man, did he wussed out earlier than usual?
I did. I had to tap out sooner this time.
Oh.
Is it hot in there?
No, it is incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That mask.
Yeah. Well, see, hurting
Mostly
people's
just because it looks like Kelly.
Yeah, I was going to say hurting people's feelings can't be comfortable either, but maybe it is. Anyway, Rebekah,
Yes.
what was your favorite Halloween costume ever?
So I'm assuming you mean that I dressed up as.
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay. And not like just that I've seen. I would say probably Wednesday Addams was one of my favorites.
Good.
She would have been really cool to play at some point. So that
Now, when you dressed up as Wednesday Addams, were you more influenced by the movies, like the Christina Ricci Wednesday Addams, or original Wednesday Addams?
probably more movie, but maybe a mix of both. But I liked it because people got it immediately, which was nice. Sometimes when you dress up, you spend like all this time and people don't get it. It's really sad. So people definitely got that one. I also had fun dressing up as Edward Scissorhands, but a female version of him. So that would be mine.
Yeah, that probably made it hard to have snacks at the party, though, or something, I would assume, because
We did like gloves, and then we did like foil, for the scissors, and it was kind of like I had to be like, okay, I have to take these off because I'm just
yes, suffer for your art, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, your favorite candy?
Oh, so you guys aren't answering these? No, just me?
So We can, if you'd like us to, we can. Well, we didn't know if we were gonna do a bump at the end where we answered ours or not,
Okay.
but we can be happy to do those as well. Mike's favorite Halloween costume, Mike.
Oh, my favorite Halloween costume that I wore. I dressed up as Marsha Clark, and weirdly, people got it. So I'm not sure if that says more about Marsha Clark or me. So
I feel like I need to see a picture of this. So please.
I'm not sure if I have a picture of that one. There's a lot of pictures, like dresses were a big part of my Halloween costumes for a long time. And then a thing started to happen where it was like, oh, this year I was this woman, this year I was this woman. And then it was like summer and I was wearing a ball gown laying by a pool. And there is a picture of that one. So
Nice.
I can really pull off a sequins ball gown though. You
I would
wouldn't
like to
think
see
it,
that. I would like to see that.
but I can.
That's nice. Yeah, I think my favorite goes back to college days. When I was in the residence I was in had the different rooms were numbered. So there was a room 1 and a room 4, and we paired together to kind of host a little had a party, and each room kind of hosted a Halloween section. And there was a room 5, and the room 5 contained the preppiest guys that you've ever seen in your life in terms of what they were. So since we were rooms 4 and 1, we said that ended up to room 5, and so it was super easy. That for that one is that we just we had like 4 layers of Izod shirts on and all kinds of things like that. We hurt some people's feelings. So
That was your.
Mean-spirited, Kelly.
yep, I'm a mean
See,
spirited.
I didn't stay in a dorm when I was in college, but I did get handcuffed to a bed naked in a girls' dorm while a tour was coming through. So that was an interesting time.
Rebecca, we're not going to be answering any more of these questions. we're just
Story for another
Kelly's
day.
like, this is why we don't do this.
this is
Why, just a guess.
I should have really anticipated this. So we've
you
got,
opened the door for that, Kelly.
yeah, it's all my your life experiences are my fault. I'm sorry. Rebecca, and only Rebecca, what's your favorite candy?
So it's a hard toss up between Twix and Three Musketeer for Halloween.
Yep, those
Now,
have
the
been-
fun size or the full size?
I mean, the full size, but usually don't get the. I mean, obviously, I haven't been trick or treating in a very long time, but normally, you don't get the big size. But I do like the big size. Now, like when I'm at the movies, I'm a big Junior Mints fan.
Oh,
It's a random one, but
not Mike and Ike, good and plenty.
I mean, really, I don't really discriminate. I really like all candy. There's not many I don't like at all. So, you know.
Alrighty. Okay,
That was a subtle suggestion that you do discriminate, Kelly.
Yeah, I picked up on it. I'm a candy discriminator. That's what I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm building up walls between the candies. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do the show again.
I'm pretty sure Kelly just got canceled.
Yeah.
That's right.
The candy is offended.
Moving along. So Rebecca, assume there was a big fight between Jason and Freddie and Leatherface and Pinhead. Who do you think comes out on top in that?
This is hard. I saw this one in advance, but it's hard. I don't know. Maybe Freddie, just because I feel like he can just like pop up anywhere, and like you fall asleep and you're done. I don't know.
So we've done a couple of these, and he has gotten a lot of love in that process because of some of his capabilities. But yeah, if they were easy questions, it wouldn't be fun.
It's true. I mean, I think in certain circumstances, all of them could come on top, depending on like the situation they're in. Because you really got to like think about this. Because then yeah, I don't know. I think it depends on the situation and who else is there. Yeah.
And for the
Fair enough.
record, if this was easy, it wouldn't be fun, is what I tell Kelly before every show we do together.
The awkward silence is after my answer, sir.
Or no, they're good. These are good. So I know this one could get awkward. We'll see how it goes. You've seen
I
him
didn't
in the
pick these questions. That's important before this question that I say that. Because again, I don't want to be canceled. I'll leave that to Kelly.
Okay, so you now I'm all scared. Anyway, you've likely seen them in the Halloween stores.
Look at his aggressive hand gestures.
They come up with, no, I'm sitting on my hands. They come up with things like the sexy nurse or the sexy nun or the sexy whatever.
Do they, Kelly?
Yes, they do, Mike.
I don't know if I've seen the sexy nun.
Well, yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. But you get the idea. I was
If
giving
you've seen any nun, you've seen a sexy nun.
I am gonna awkward silence this answer like you've never seen.
Dressed up as a sexy nun. I would like to see that. Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
So anyway, giving no more examples. If you, Rebekah Kennedy, are in charge of your own Halloween costume company, and you needed to come up with the next greatest sexy something to sell to the public, what would Rebekah Kennedy release the costume buying community?
Okay, so I don't know if this would be considered sexy or not, but I did see a really fun female version of Pennywise and It that was more, I guess, more along the lines of that. And that's what I probably would do, something like that. That would be more.
Sexy Pennywise is what.
Yeah.
Okay.
The rest have been overdone. I mean, Nurse, overdone. Like Schoolgirl, they're all like, you've seen 1,000 of them. So I think that would be fun to have like a version of him, but less, still creepy, but like creepy sexy.
Yeah, maybe it's like Fabio hair or something. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not going to ask any further how we might sexy it up because might get
See, I
me
didn't even
canceled.
make the obvious joke Rebecca set me up for. The creepy sexy is on Kelly's online dating profile.
Yeah. That's your log line of your.
Rebecca, dude, really?
See, I didn't say that. That is personal growth.
I went through, picking people to do this. I said, I'm gonna pick people that could possibly be on my side in some of this stuff.
Hard.
I have failed horribly.
No, that would be my dating profile probably.
Okay.
They tell, well, I was making the joke with my friend that they tell actors like, all of your social media needs to be, on brand with like what you play. And I'm like joking that like all of my pictures would just be like me looking like death or like me kidnapped or me evil. Like
You've had a rough go of it on a lot of the things.
So you're not alone. You're not alone.
Okay. Oh, feel so much better now.
So she's not saying you're not creepy. She's just saying you shouldn't feel bad about it.
There's other creepy people out there.
I am the queen. I am the queen. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So.
You're like, so that's another interview.
Outside of obviously this fantastic show tonight, what's your top Hollywood? I keep wanting to say Hollywood all the time. Your top Holly. Your top Halloween.
Please do not cut that, sir.
Your top Halloween memory.
It was like you broke for a second.
I know it's like a stroke. I think she's been so mean to me.
You've
broken Kelly, Rebecca.
I think
anyone would be lucky to have you, Kelly.
I bet. That did not sound condescending at all.
I can't win.
You can't. You're a much better.
I'm just waiting for like
actress.
Kelly. It gets better.
Just like,
It's all right. All right. Anyway, what's your favorite memory for the thing that happens at the end of October?
I like to go to parties. I love to, one year we did the Halloween party here where everyone's like on the street, walking, and I love looking at all the costumes. And some of my friends, last year was obviously a bust, but in the past, I have one friend that throws a great Halloween party, and I love to see how everyone is dressed up and guess what they are and take pictures. And people here go all out, which is great. Yeah, those are probably some of my fun ones of recent years. Being able to celebrate and people actually like dressing up for real.
Excellent. Sounds super fun. So we're going to move to the next section, which is the quiz, which in past recording, this is when Mike would typically would remove his mask so he could ask the question so he could read. But he chickened out a little earlier today, couldn't tough it out. So, but we'll hand it over to Mike now, who will provide the quiz. We're going to have a winner. It's going to be a little challenging because somebody not named Kelly on the show might have assisted one of our guests in an inordinate fashion.
I didn't.
Yeah.
So who could have done that?
Yes, this was there's some suspicious activity that's occurred. So we'll work through this. But what we have found out is this is not an easy quiz. We didn't intend it to be super difficult, but based on some of the stuff you mentioned a little bit earlier, I think there's one question you're going to do very well with. But no, you're not going to get hurt. But they're hard questions, I guess. So we'll see.
I'm scared I will look dumb.
No, I think you're going to do great. Everybody's done pretty well so far.
Ish, yeah. We found that there are a couple questions that probably weren't fair. We'll mention them. So with that glowing introduction, Mike, please take it away.
With that fun introduction,
you're probably not going to do well.
You're going to do terrible. Here we go. So counting the most recent release, which is Halloween Kills, how many movies are in the Halloween franchise?
Hold on. I'm just going to have to take a guess. Hold on. Seven?
Mike?
No, that is incorrect.
Okay.
I gave a long pause because I was hoping you'd come back with another number.
Oh, I didn't know I didn't know I got to guess again.
Yep, you do.
Am I higher or lower?
Go higher. Go higher.
Go higher.
See, there's Kelly cheating.
11. I don't know.
You're running the quiz, dude.
So close. 12.
Well,
12.
I've seen all of them too, but it's so hard to think about all of the different, because then they stopped numbering them, because at first it was Halloween 1, Halloween 2, Halloween 3, but then it's yeah.
It's confusing, especially there are 3 of them.
12
now
is my
that are just
answer.
called Halloween.
Congratulations.
Oh no,
All right.
All right, now this is an interesting one. What was the most popular costume in 2020 for adults, according to Kelly's research?
Yeah. According to Kelly's research, and Kelly's research was using Google, who told me that Google decided this. So this is something that Google reported on, and they said in 2020, this particular type of costume was the most searched for in 2020. So it might be somebody searching for, hey, I want to make one of these, so I'm searching for this kind of crazy Kelly costume. They're typing that into Google, or they just want to do cosplay, or they were just questions. So it was the one that people searched the most on in 2020, and don't necessarily assume that the pandemic had a huge influence.
I know, I was going to say it. Who was dressing up? Can I have a hint? No.
I would say never go wrong with old school. So
yeah, think classic, simple,
peanuts kind of thing. So
oh gosh, I don't know. I'm just kind of, one year I went as Marty McFly, and that was simple and old school, but that's probably not right. No.
No. So according to Kelly's research, it is a witch.
Oh, Okay.
So yeah,
yeah,
very generic.
that is. Oh yeah, you should have said generic, not
I
simple.
should have. That's it.
Yeah.
That is a better.
I just wanted to throw you. I'm sorry.
Kelly's just trying to get revenge now because you weren't on his side earlier.
Yeah, because I guess that's true. Because like last year was so crappy that people could just be like, okay, I'll just put a hat on and like.
I'm a witch. Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. I'm still disappointed in us as a society, though. For that, we're better than that society.
It's like witch, vampire, ghost are the top three. So it's just the classics. Maybe not generic. The classic.
Generic.
Yeah.
All right.
It's generic.
Yeah. Okay. What?
All right. So next question, again, all Kelly questions. What is a golem, and not the character from Lord of the Rings?
What? You're totally wrong.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah.
So now you know one ahead. So if you want to start
Start
thinking or
Googling.
secretly Googling that. So name 3 movie witches.
Okay.
Any 3 witches.
Do I have to know their names though, or can I just say the movies?
We've had a lot of flexibility on this. So if you can actually name a movie that has a witch in it.
Craft, Practical Magic, and I guess I can't say my own movie.
You could.
You
You're a witch in there. You could.
Totally. You got 2 right there. And you probably know their names.
You know their names. Yeah, so those are my 3. So Practical Magic, The Craft, and my film, 2 Witches. Because I'm not plugging my film at all.
See? Questions just for you, just to give you that opportunity. Plugging in.
We call it subtle plugging on this show,
Yes.
where you try and work in.
Anyway, I can put myself in into the questions.
So here's a question you didn't know was coming. What is a golem?
And you're not talking about Lord of the Rings. You
No,
said.
not
No.
the Lord of the Rings.
That's yeah. This is GOLEM.
Is it a game? No. I don't know.
No.
No. Is it something with Halloween? I'm guessing. No.
Yeah, I mean it was, and it's going to get into our next question where there's some heated debate going on. But it was one of the very early horror movies featured a golem, which is, according to Mike, according to Kelly, according to Wikipedia, Mike.
It's not from Lord of the Rings. So let me give you the Kelly definition here. It is a creature made out of a lifeless substance, such as earth or dust, that is brought to life through a ritual, incantations, or a sequence of Hebrew letters.
We would have accepted mud or clay as well, as golems are made out of.
I don't think you could accept it. I don't think anyone would know this. Did anyone know this?
Yes.
One person.
Yeah. Somebody knew it, like the exact definition of it.
Well, that's
Yeah.
amazing,
So
and I'm sad. I knew nothing.
Okay. So and this
Now
one,
I know. Now I'm ready for anyone that asks me that.
that's right. See,
that has to come up regularly in casual conversation, I would imagine.
And
I'm telling you,
I'm gonna go around and be like, "Do you know what a golem is?"
you can work that in. I'm pretty confident you can work that in pretty nonchalantly.
that might be your social media presence brand. It's that you're the person who knows what a golem is. You know, you just,
And I am the golem. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Now here's the one I completely disagree with this.
The answer or the question?
Kind
The
of both.
answer, the Kelly, yeah. So according to Kelly, what is the first horror movie that was made?
Ever?
Yes.
Ever.
I don't know. I'm so good at this quiz.
So according to Kelly,
I don't know.
it was a movie called House of the Devil.
And that
In
was
eight-
not when.
1896.
Okay.
So it's
But
pretty old.
you disagree. What is your answer?
Edison's Frankenstein.
And when did that come out?
He doesn't know.
I don't know.
He just likes to complain and said
I
it was
can't do
early.
research on this.
He doesn't
That's too
even know
much.
what year it was done. But yeah, that's a tough one because also what's a feature length movie and were there shorts and all those things. So this I will admit was a poor question. But
And
I
the
tried-
first person that we asked this to also said Edison's Frankenstein, so I feel vindicated in my response to that.
Yeah, I had no idea. So There we go.
Oh,
But now I know in case
There you
anyone
go.
asks me in the future. And I will also be asking people in the future this question.
I feel like these are pretty good icebreaker questions
yeah.
when you
Just-
meet a new person. They're like, "Hey, I'm so and so," and you're like, "What's a golem?"
What was the first horror
Horror
movie?
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do House of the Devil, 1896. They won't believe you. So that's been my experience. So,
They're gonna say Edison's Frankenstein.
so awesome. It was fantastic.
Well, I got one right.
You got we're giving you two, I think.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna give you Halloween because you eventually got close. So
I did,
we got
Good.
we'll
Okay, I
go
got
with
two.
that. I would say you were kind of on par with folks. Probably a little bit better on the witches.
We had one person who got all of them.
Yeah, sort of.
Did they know the questions ahead?
It when if you get the opportunity to check our video in its entirety out, you can watch this section and determine for yourself that perfect score was gotten to in a legitimate
Were they
fashion.
secretly Googling on their phone?
No, Mike was just giving them the answers. That's basically what's happening.
In the chat, you're like in the chat. Like, there's 12 movies. There's 12 movies.
I don't remember it that way.
Yeah, I know you don't. So really, again, thanks for joining us tonight. It was really fun. I think you were unnecessarily mean to me. That's okay.
You know, it's all in love. It's all in love.
I'm sure. But folks,
But in this section, nobody said, "There's nothing for you to go back and edit out."
That's exactly right. And on that note, thanks for joining us, Rebekah.
Thank you so much for having me. As always, I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks. And happy Halloween.
Well, that's it for our guests. Kelly and I wanted to take this opportunity to talk to you guys one-on-one and kind of give you some of our thoughts on some of the same topics our guests have already answered. Kelly, though, I think the first thing we need to talk about is your little wardrobe change there.
Yeah, I wanted to show the folks what could have been, because this was my intended costume for the shows. And then at the last second, I decided I didn't know how the voice would be, and I didn't know how well I'd hold up within it. So I went with the Shaun of the Dead thing. And I was super happy to do that because Mike had hidden from me what he was going to do. And so I think it wouldn't have been great for our guests to say, hey, come on and join Mike and I. And they'd be presented with two idiots in masks. And then plus the other part that would have happened was, oh, well, I'm a big whiny baby and this mask is too hard to wear.
You actually can hear you well through that, though.
Excellent.
Yeah. And as Kelly already alluded to, I was wearing a mask as well. Mine was not comfortable to wear, as he mentioned. I don't know if this shows up on camera, but there's these sort of like diving goggles in the back of the LED mask that just suction to your face, and it is terrible. It's not comfortable to wear this. The mask itself is really cool, though. The mask worked out better than I could have imagined. So I wholeheartedly recommend the product, but wearing it itself is not fun.
So we'll begrudgingly include in the video description a link to this product.
Yes.
You too can steal images of me without my permission and dresses.
You too can be Kelly. What
That's
really
right.
worked in my favor with this too is that Kelly luckily does selfies like dead on into the camera, not like at the angle most people do to try to like make themselves look good or try to get a certain light or whatever.
Giving up
Kelly
on that.
just deadpans right into the camera. Kelly is constantly breaking the fourth wall in his selfies.
Gotta trot out those serial killer eyes. So it's just let them go.
And there was a couple of other options too. That was the first one that came to mind, that image, because that's my favorite picture of you. And I don't know if you want to take a second to kind of explain to people what that image is from.
Yeah, and we'll pretty sure I'll be able to find a copy of it, and we'll include
Yeah.
it. I would drop here in the
It's easy
video,
to
hopefully.
find.
Barely. But a relationship by marriage.
You know, it's a good story when it starts with the
Like to make
caveat of by marriage.
by marriage, and not direct. The is a hunter, amongst other things, a very Midwestern individual, and so they were having a 4th of July party, and so my brother and I decided, well, we can't really go to this party given kind of the nature who we anticipated being there, without being appropriately attired. So we stopped by the local Walmart, who did not let down, had some fine American Eagle flag t-shirts. So we each picked up those highly affordable t-shirts and had those on, and sunglasses. And we were down in his kind of lower walkout basement area, which is just this array of deer heads and bow and arrows and guns. And so we took a little picture together, a little America picture together, and that was the source of Mike's version of me for this show. So that was a special time.
Yeah, that was the image, because I love that picture. It's literally never loses its charm for me. Like every time I look at that picture, I hysterically laugh, because knowing you personally and just like seeing you in that context is hilarious to me. Because I know that's not you. So that's what, like, without context, if I saw that, like, that person's a real person in that picture. Like that's
I get into my character.
Yeah, that's that person, like, there is unironic Facebook profile pictures that look like that. So seeing yours like that is just so good. So it's a great picture. I had a plethora of options because, again, Kelly stares straight down the barrel of the camera in the picture. So it was perfect. That's really what you need when you're doing the LED mask. The problem is the LED mask, I don't know if you can really see it. I'll hold it up again. There are eye holes in this. So I'm not sure if that's something that comes up in the camera there. So the eye holes, when it was your face, though, they take out your actual eyes. So it's just this big, like, black orbs where your eyes would be. And it looked cool, but it was harder to tell that it was you. So it just so happened that the one that worked out the best was the picture I wanted anyway, with the sunglasses, because the sunglasses obscured the actual eye holes in the mask.
Yep. Well, I'm glad it worked out for you. Not really.
I appreciate that, sir.
And nothing more concerning than to say, hey, do you want to test out your costume before we start to record this? Like, nope, I'm good.
Nope.
Don't want to spoil the surprise. It's like, oh,
no need to do
not
that.
good. Not good. But this was fun. Really appreciate everybody who joined us. Nikki, Christina, Dave, Rebekah. It was fun. Each one of them was great. We ended up kind of unintentionally getting into this with Rebekah a little bit, because she took us to task about not answering questions. So we thought we'd do, to kind of wrap this up, is to kind of answer our questions for it. And we actually did that in the Rebekah segment. So you've already heard about our favorite Halloween costumes. You've already heard about our favorite candy. And then you started to hear some more from Mike on another story that we're not going into any further here, and from there. But I think we're now at Jason versus Freddy versus Leatherface versus Pinhead. So I'll let you kind of go first on this one. I'll take the next one first. But where do you land on that question we gave our guests?
So Jason versus Freddy versus Leatherface versus Pinhead. So right off the bat, as much as I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface is out for me, because he's a human at the end of the day. So that's where he's out. Jason is on the cusp. I'm a big Friday 13th fan. You can't see here in the studio, but around my house, there's tons of Friday 13th stuff, props from the movies, mask replicas and things like that. I even have a mask that Tom Savini made for me. So tons of Friday 13th stuff. So aesthetically, Jason is my favorite. They're not necessarily my favorite movies, though, which is kind of weird. But he, depending on where you're looking at it with it, the early movies, Jason is human in the early movies. At a certain point, they killed the Jason character off because Paramount was kind of embarrassed by the series and wanted it to end. They liked making the money off of it, but didn't want to be the slasher movie studio. And then realized like they liked that money. So after they'd already killed Jason off, so they tried to bring the franchise back with a different killer and have like a copycat Jason killer. And retroactively, a lot of people now will tell you that they like that movie, but at the time, people did not like that movie. That had a very poor reputation. So after that, that's when you get the advent of zombie Jason, which is pretty much stuck throughout the franchise now. So I assume we're talking about zombie Jason.
I guess, sir.
For this. I love zombie Jason, but I'm going to say he's out too. Human Jason will be out right away, just like Leatherface. Zombie Jason, I could see lasting a little bit longer because, again, at least he's got some supernatural powers. While he is strong, he does get overpowered and thwarted in some of his plans because he's not really a thinker. He's a doer. It just kind of goes after people. He's not an analytical character, though. So I can see him being out. I'm spending so much time on this. I can see him being out. So to me, it really comes down between Freddy and Pinhead. And I'm going to have to say Freddy probably comes out on top because I think he's more creative than Pinhead is. I love the Hellraiser franchise. I'm a giant Clive Barker fan. I would say I like Clive Barker's work more than Nightmare on Elm Street. But Freddy just kind of has limitless powers, basically, in the movies, especially in the sequels. Freddy can do whatever they need him to do to get to the punchline that they need it, with no real rules or semblance of reality to get there. Like, in the Hellraiser world, there are rules that the Pinhead character kind of works within and certain confines with that. Whereas I think Freddy, particularly in the sequels, is just kind of whatever they felt like he needed to do that day to sell a toy or to get a cool image. That's what he did. So I'm going to have to give it to Freddy. How about you, sir?
Yeah, kind of what he said, folks. I really can't add a whole lot to it. I kind of thin it down. I'd have it down to Pinhead versus Freddy, and I think you put it pretty well. That one has eventually some parameters that hopefully guide their performance, where the other one is completely unfettered, and therefore you Pinhead. Yeah. So I give it to Freddy as well. All right. So I will begin the next one, which was our you own your own Halloween costume manufacturer, and we had the sexy nurse and the sexy teacher. What would be the one that you came out with that no one else would come out with? And I came up with a sexy lathe operator. So those are familiar with the lathe, piece of wood spins around, and then they've got these various tools to shape things. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't exist. And while it would be difficult to carry a lathe around with you most of the night, I believe that no one has done sexy lathe operator. So that's what I'm going with.
I need to reach out to our vinyl guy because we do these lathe cut vinyl pressings that are done on this carbon glass. And I mean, I'm sure he looks sexy doing it. I'm not there when it happens, but I'd like to believe he's really putting on a show.
Could be. There's a lot of debris involved.
Yeah. See right there, debris in and of itself, sexy word.
I can hardly wait for yours.
So I have a weird, not that I've ever been related to a costume, but there's a weird, so going back to Full Moon again, Full Moon, there are costumes based on a lot of their characters, particularly from the Puppet Master franchise. There are masks, like when you go to Spirit every year, there's Full Moon character masks and things like that. At one point, though, Charles Band, the guy behind Wizard, Empire, and Full Moon, he came up with a costume line called Monster Bras. And essentially, it's costumes for women that consist of just a bra with some sort of character on the bra. So it's essentially selling a costume that is just a bra to have women walk around in just bras. So as a costume, again, depending on your stance on that, it could be brilliant. It could be he's a terrible person. Depends on how you look at that. Around that same time is when we made Evil Bong. Evil Bong, half of the movie about takes place in a strip club. The characters in, of course, brilliant crossover marketing wear monster bras in the strip club, and the monster bras come to life and kill the patrons of the strip club in the various death scenes in an Evil Bong, which I had no problem with, and I thought was funny, and it's something that people talk about. In fact, it's weird because when people mention it, I feel like people don't know the monster bras were a thing because I don't think they took off the same way the character masks have.
It's a
So
fairly accurate assessment.
yeah, so I don't really see monster bras anywhere, but you still see the full moon characters everywhere. I would have loved, and maybe they did this in one of the sequels. I never watched the sequels. I would have loved a monster bra that somehow was a bong, like smoke coming out of the bra with some sort of like a hose to smoke from, and maybe like the evil bong faces on there, some sort of bong bra. That's what I'd like to see, is this like a sexy bong costume.
Sexy bong bra costume.
Yes.
That's what you're going with.
Yep.
Okay.
So somebody asked me, I
Could've been
remember
worse.
years ago, jokingly, somebody was like, what would your, if you could come up with a crazy, sexy costume thing. So I said sexy pizza slice, just as a joke, like something that can never be. We looked it up. That's a costume.
Yep.
There's a sexy
Pretty
pizza
much.
slice
Of course
costume.
there is.
And the full me giving up on life was this year. I'm a huge fan of the movie Trick or Treat and the sort of mini franchise that's come up around that. And Spirit, particularly the Sam character from the Trick or Treat universe, gets tons of stuff, costumes, animatronics, all kinds of merchandise at Spirit Halloween stores every year. There's a sexy Sam costume now. So that was, and Sam, the character is mild spoiler, I guess. The character's not human. It's a supernatural character, but the character portrays themselves as a little kid in a Halloween costume in the movie. So they're not a little kid, but still, like, that's weird for the sexy costume choice. And I get it, again, before anybody's like, they're not really a little kid. I know, but still.
Yeah, I think you can stay safe on your high moral ground. You stay down here.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to worry about the folks coming after you.
Yeah. Somebody's like, you're not really a little kid. I know. But still, that's a weird way to go with a costume.
Top Halloween memory, Mike.
That's a tough one. Right out of high school, when I got my first record deal, the record label that we were signed to did a haunted house every year, and they would empty out the record label owner's house. And they lived in a particularly large house. They emptied the house out, filled it with like super elaborate setup, and the kids, to get candy, and the kids would be lined up for blocks. And to get candy, the kids had to go all the way through the house to get the candy and then make it back out through the house. And it was they'd put so much, they'd built this up over the years, so much time and money, stuff that would rival like official haunted house attractions that you go to, like full on setups and animatronics and all kinds of stuff. And for 3 years, I want to say, when I was working with that record label, I was in the haunted house attraction every year. So the first one that I did, that was my favorite, because I posted up in the very beginning of the haunted house. So when the kids would come in, they would see me, but I wouldn't do anything. Like, I would just kind of blend in with the background, like I was one of the dummies. And then I would pick out certain kids that I wanted to get, and other kids I would let come and go with not moving at all. But like one particular kid out of every so many, because they would let like 5 kids at a time in. They had to make it through the house, then the next 5 could go in. So I'd pick out one kid, and then that kid on their way out, I would just destroy their lives when they would come back again. I mean, just kids crying, just in tears, just broken down as human beings. And my particular favorite was parents, because every once in a while you get a kid who was scared, who didn't want to come in, and their parents would be bullying them to go in and get candy. Like, and I don't mean like pushing them to face their fears. I mean like being dicks to these little kids. So then we would focus on the parent. And that's really where I got my chance to shine. Because when they would be coming back through, still yelling at their kid for being scared, I would just destroy that parent. I would jump out at them, knock them down, scream in their faces. And I had parents crying, leaving. So that's my favorite Halloween memory. What about you, sir?
It tells us a lot. So I hate to be duplicative, but I have to share my favorite Halloween memory with Dave LaGreca, because he was talking about Dragon Town tour. Now, he actually saw Dragon Town on Halloween. So Alice apparently was making his way towards the East Coast. So briefly, just before Halloween, he was in my neck of the woods. So very close to Halloween. You got Alice Cooper at Halloween. So I just recently saw him down in Nashville, and we're in October, and he ends the concert with, it's October, Halloween's coming, I own Halloween. And he indeed does. And so to kind of see Alice kind of with that extra Halloween energy behind him, and concert t-shirts and such that reflect some of the Halloween theme, super cool. So I'm going to kind of share mine with Dave LaGreca, different concerts, but same tour. The Dragontown tour. There's not a much better Halloween time to spend than with Mr. Cooper. So that'd be mine.
Excellent choice, sir.
So a couple other wrap-up items. Best costume. We love all our guests equally, but if we were to pick a best costume,
I'm going to let you go first, sir, so that
I'm
it doesn't
going
seem like I'm being biased.
I'm going Dave LaGreca. To have the courage to wear
That's true. I
what he
didn't think
wore,
of it that way.
I got to give it to him. So Dave gets my vote. Why don't you give your suck-up vote now, Mike?
So Dave is actually a really good choice because I didn't think of it that way. He did humiliate himself by putting that on and being a great sport about it. So that's awesome. I didn't think of it that way. It's still Nikki Bilderback, though.
Of course it is.
Did you not like Nikki's costume, Kelly?
No, I like Nikki's costume a lot. I like all the costumes. No, I didn't like Rebekah's. No, I didn't. She was crazy Kelly, and I felt attacked. But the guests I did. So I thought they all did a heck of a job. And Nikki rocked it. She looked great. She was awesome as usual. Christina, you can always count on. She is Team Halloween 100%. So it was really cool. Rebekah showed me a darker side this year, so I'm still working through that. So,
the dark side of Rebekah Kennedy.
Yep, it's kind of spooky. And then I guess the last thing we need to do to wrap this up is talk about the quiz. So,
totally fair and balanced.
Fair.
Fox News.
According to Fox News, Dr. Mike, Nikki got 5 of 5 with no help whatsoever. Watch the video on that. I tend to think if we were to just go with me for a second, let's assume maybe there were occasions when you helped Nikki and me inexplicably, since she was so mean to me, I helped Rebekah out a little bit.
Yeah, if anyone cheated, sir, I believe it was you.
So there was maybe, so we're just hypothetically, let's say that there was some assistance that was going on. If we were to peel that assistance away, I think the only person that got the goal in question was Christina Bach.
That is true. Yeah, I mean, Nikki got it, of course, but
yeah, of course she did. Yeah,
Christina was right there with like the textbook answer.
Yeah, it was like solid on there. Yeah. So we'll see. But they're all winners in our book, and so we'll work it out so that they all receive a special thank you from the Cobbler corporate headquarters for their participation. We'd really be interested. For those of you, this ended up being slightly longer than we anticipated it was going to be.
A little bit.
So we'd love to hear if any of you made it all the way through. And 2, did you like it? Is it something you'd like to see us do again? Would appreciate any feedback on that. We really enjoy doing it and hanging out with these people. So we'll probably do it anyway, but would love to hear from you about if we were to do it again, how could we do it better? And that would be great. We kind of like to do at least the Halloween special. Sometimes we do something around Christmas, but definitely Halloween. So it was pretty fun. So,
and I think now is a good time for us to announce, if this video that you're watching right now gets 1,000 views, Kelly is opening his home up for a special live show from his house.
1,000 views, huh?
1,000 views.
Captions have covered everything that needs to be covered. Well, Mike said it would be great to get 1,000 views on this.
What if it was 5,000 views?
We'll talk. Yes.
All right.
We'll see. But thank anybody, I'm impressed with your stamina, folks. If you've made it all the way through to this point, very, very impressive. But we had fun doing it. Hope you enjoyed it some as well. And you'll see us back doing this kind of silliness again next year. So thank you very much for watching.
Thanks, everyone.